you fish?
No.
You know, people who don't fish think that fishing is lazy or boring, but it is the complete opposite. There are 100 little decisions to be made, variables to be considered, and you're never quite sure what made the difference. Did I cast too high, too far to the left? Did I reel it in too slow or too fast? Is the lure too shiny or too dull? Do I stay here or should I go over there? And you know it's not luck, but you do not know by how much. Because I am never disappointed out here, because I don't expect anything, because anything is possible. I can be hopeful out here, even in failure. Because I know if I just go out there around that tree, it might be different. Something might be different. Something I do might make a difference.
A sniper's dream, 100 nights of memory. He has me forehead, and after head, goes grace vertical. No matter who he races, he gonna have a head start. Frontal glow, remembers what happened to Mom. His father stands on the second floor. Why can you still see his forehead with the comments open? Surely he's nice. He got a lot on his mind. He's been told to hold that thought all his life. Bro sweat tries before it reaches his eyes. He needs brains. Gross imaginations in 4K Ultra HD. If you do an inch on his forehead, he will survive. His forehead says 6'5", but his eyes say 5'9". The most epic heroic song of all time. Bro's forehead has a national anthem. Bro knew this would happen.
Hell yeah! Angler's choice, baby! Johnny Morris, White River, Ranger, Triton, Nitro. Let's go, baby! Woo!
What the hell is even that?
You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your host, Thomas Ahrens. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing on this wonderful Thanksgiving week? Let me know in the chat before we get started here. Can people hear me? How do I sound? Do I need to change anything up there? I got my hat on. Nice. There we go. Santa's favorite. We'll just say fisherman. We'll blurt out the other words that are on this bad boy. We got B. Cal in the chat. Good evening, Thomas and everyone. Time to fish. It is. Weather's been pretty good right now, honestly. Not too cold at all. It's finally getting into that, I would say, early kind of winter time, or that really first really good chill. So weights are starting to get cranked up here on the Lake Anna Winter Series as well as the Smith Mountain Lake Series. So that's always a good thing. And the smallmouth should be starting to be really happening here as well. So we're going to touch on some of the stuff in the fishing world later this week on a separate live stream. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Just going to give it another minute or two here. Let me check on the old Instagram, make sure everyone can hear me there. Oh my goodness, got a ton of people over on Instagram. Perfect. Cool. We got Jake White in the chat, Jay Hunter, sweet, ripping lips. Awesome. Cool. All right. So it sounds like everyone can hear me okay. So we'll get going here, and then this will be re-uploaded tomorrow is a podcast episode as well. Green Top actually dropped today, which that was a fun little conversation. So cool to see a shop like that that's been around since basically around like the World War II times, and it's still kicking. And you just kind of miss those stories, that character, when the Walmarts of the world, the Johnny Morrises, the private equity groups come in here and just destroy everything, and you lose those stories and that character. So huge shout out to Green Top keeping it going as well. And it sounds like they're selling guns like hotcakes right now with some of the stuff that's happening in Virginia politic wise. Hopefully nothing too crazy. It usually happens when this goes out, that people start selling guns like hotcakes. Who knows? But they are one of the OG dealerships for all things hunting and fishing in Virginia. And it was really fun to get them on to kind of hear their story. So why don't we just get right into it, shall we? This is the next major tournament that we have on the old docket. Let me get this up here. I know we're kind of double dipping with doing the tournament captains meeting as well as a Monday Night Live, because this is like the week leading into Thanksgiving. I didn't know how much of a vibe we were going to get for a Monday Night Live. fear not, we're going to have a fun guest next week as well, which I'll talk about too a little bit here at the end. So anyway, hopefully everyone can see my old screen here. So this is the second annual because remember I started this stupid idea of being a tournament director in 2024 with the Halloween Havoc tournament. And so this is the second annual Merry Bassmas Bash event. I kind of like the idea of just doing something for Black Friday. I used to always go hunting or fishing on Black Friday or paintballing, one of those three things. And so I thought, like, why don't we have a fishing tournament? So the Merry Bassmas Bash starts Friday, November 28th, this Black Friday. And it's going to run a little bit differently. Last time it ended on the 27th, just around my birthday, December 27th. This time I heard everybody, let's extend it through the holiday weekend. And also it's kind of cool about this. You have a chance to catch your first bass of the year with this fishing tournament, which is a kind of a neat thing. So it goes all the way through January 3rd, Saturday, January 3rd at midnight. I just put midnight because it's easy. If you want to be out there at midnight on a kayak, God bless you in January if you want to do that. But anyway, so you have a chance to catch a bass or any type of species in this event on the first of the year, which is pretty cool. All right. So you have to be an active club member on Patreon. It just kind of helps me out. It also helps me, it just kind of filters through the riffraff. I want this to kind of be like a club. It's going to be a fun time. I don't like jackpotters. So just join the membership. It's $6 a month right now. As you guys are aware, the fee to become a club member goes up to $8 a month starting in January. If you're already a paying member, no worries. I can grandfather you in on the app and you're set for life at that price no matter what. Don't have to worry about it. But for any new members, if you wait until January, it's going to be up to $8. And then in 2027, it's going to be $10. So that's just how it's going to be cranking up there over time, just to give you an idea there. Tournament starts Friday, November 28th at 7 a.m. is lines in, and then it ends January 3rd at midnight. In theory, you could be fishing until midnight. If that's something you want to do, go for it. The final day to sign up will be Friday, December 12th, just because with the holiday rush and everything, I don't know if people have heard this in time. Whoops, what'd I do there? All right. For the largemouth / mixed bag division, in first place, you're going to get $150 plus a pack plus a goodie bag. We're getting that goodie bag worked out with some people right now. And then in second place, you're going to get $100 plus a plaque and a goodie bag. Third place is $60 and a plaque, and then all the way down to sixth place. And we're doing something a little bit different, a little bit more spicy this year, and that is going to be the Secret Santa program. As you guys know, there are two divisions. There is a largemouth mixed bag division and an entirely smallmouth division. So with each division, we have a Secret Santa. Okay, this was the fun thing I kind of hinted at before. Do you guys remember the old show Beat Charlie Moore? It was an old school show, a really old school show back in the day that I thought was fun, where you got this wisecracking Boston guy and you just wanted to kick the crap out of him. You just wanted to beat him. And I have a bunch of friends that are either big time YouTubers, really good fishermen, they're guides or something like that, and they just enjoy competition. And I wanted to kind of find a way to kind of merge both of these things together. And so I thought of this bonkers crazy idea. And so let me just get right into it and explain it to you guys. For the largemouth division, this is how it works. The Secret Santa is SB Fishing. SB Fishing, Matt of SB Fishing, is going to be fishing the largemouth division. Okay? This is how it works. For every person that finishes ahead of him, so let's say SB finishes in third place, everyone above him automatically gets an extra $20 right now added to their winnings. So first place gets an extra 20, second place gets an extra 20 bucks. Okay? But then you're just like, Tom, he's a professional. What if he wins the thing? If he wins the tournament, no worries. He's going to get a separate plaque, and then we're going to treat the standings like he wasn't there. Because I know there are going to be some people that are going to be bent out of shape if you have a professional angler fishing it. On top of that, SB Fishing has donated a guided fishing trip to the tournament. A guided fishing trip to the tournament. And how we're going to do it is everyone that finishes in the top 10 automatically gets into a raffle at the end of the event. We'll put everyone in the top 10 into the raffle. I'll do the raffle thing and pull it out, and then you will win a guided fishing trip with SB Fishing. So this is just a fun little competition here just to see how you guys stack up with him. Again, if he smokes it out of the park, no worries there. It's just for fun. Somebody else will be awarded all the glamour and stuff, but I'll also get a separate plaque made up for SB because it's still good just for his branding as well. That way everybody's happy, but we get to have a little kind of beat Charlie more fun. And then let's go on to the next one. So then Smallmouth Division, the exact same thing, $150 plus a plaque plus a goodie bag all the way down. And then the Secret Santa for the Smallmouth Division is Ethan Stone. Ethan is going to be the Secret Santa for the Smallmouth Division. So if Ethan stumbles and only finishes in 8th place, that means everybody above Ethan from 7th to 1st, each of those people get an extra $20. And if Ethan blows it away, no worries. He's going to get a separate plaque, stuff for his brand, all that stuff, and we'll still announce a winner so no one has to get bent out of shape. But this way you could also kind of test yourself to see if you could beat him. And if you guys finish in the top 10 in the standings, you're automatically entered into a raffle to win a guided fishing trip with Ethan Stones. Dude is an absolutely the best, one of the best guides on the New River. So just kind of a fun thing, I thought, where we could bring in some of these cool people I know and have a friendly competition where you get to compete against them, but it's not going to be like, oh, well, you have a professional guide fishing the whole thing, so meh, I hate life. Nope. This is all fun. I already talked to both of them. They're in on it. They don't want to get their asses kicked, but they also understand the kind of the vibe of this thing. So it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. So that's kind of how we're going to do it. If you guys absolutely hate this at the end of the tournament, we can redo it for the next one. But these are going to be the 2 beat Charlie more people for each division. All right. And this goes into the Merry Bassmas Side Pot Challenges. I was on too much Adderall or tequila when I did this, and I couldn't say no. So who knows? If this is the last tournament I do, it'll be a blaze of glory. All right. We are giving away a plaque and $30 cash for the 2 biggest pickerel, yellow perch, white perch, crappie, walleye, rainbow trout, hybrid striper, and of course, I wanted to kind of make this a secret, but I forgot how to do that little secret thing with the PowerPoint thing. We're still going to keep the rock bass. All right. So, and the rock bass, because I absolutely love those things. This is an absolute amazing amount of side pots I'm doing. The difference here is, I learned my lesson in the last one. I'm going to order the regular plaques first, so they're here early. And then the side pot ones, I'm going to order after the tournament is over. If a side pot fish is not caught, let's just say nobody catches a hybrid striper, I'm just going to use that money extra to help pay for shipping for these plaques, because these things are getting expensive shipping wise. So, but that's how we're going to do it. So the 1st through 5th place plaques and the Smallmouth Big Fish Awards and the Largemouth Big Fish Awards, I'm going to order those all early this year before Christmas. That way they're here ready to go. So lots of side pots, and this is how it's going to work, guys. If you guys are new to these tournaments here, okay, with the largemouth and the smallmouth and the side pots, it is the biggest fish that you catch, and then you go to the next one. So this is the Hunter Smith rule. Hunter Smith, our friend Jason Church, him and Jason and I peer pressured him to fishing the spring one. He ended up going out there and having the best day of fishing of his life. He caught like a 45-pound bag, something stupid, and just won every award. So this is the Hunter Smith rule. If you catch a 29-inch largemouth, you can only count that one, and then we'll go to the next biggest largemouth caught. It's the same thing with the smallmouth, same thing with all these categories. That way we spread the love around. If you catch a crappie that's 20 inches long, first off, probably should enter that for the Guinness Book of World Records, but you can't enter another crappie. You pretty much got that locked up, but you can go hunt the biggest largemouth or crappie, yellow perch, what have you. With that, largemouth, we're going to do the biggest 6 largemouth this year, the biggest 6 largemouth caught by separate people. And then we're still going to be doing 2 smallmouth, that the biggest smallmouth caught, the 2 biggest smallmouth caught in Maryland waters, the 2 biggest smallmouth caught in Pennsylvania waters, and the 2 biggest smallmouth caught in Virginia waters. If I get more people from West Virginia that want to sign up, we can create more of a West Virginia specific division. Otherwise, if you're fishing a part of the New River that's in West Virginia, we're going to count that as Virginia. If you're going to fish the upper Potomac, we're going to count that as Maryland for now, because if I just have one guy fishing the West Virginia division, that he just basically cleans house. So we just need a couple more people to sign up from West Virginia to make that work. Okay. So moving into the new rules. These are not new rules because they've been going for a while now. I call this the Taco Bell eye rule. If the fish looks like it ate too much Taco Bell and it's about to shit its pants, I have the ability to just not accept that fish. If it has bulgy yellow eyes, I have the ability not to count that as fish, just to kind of cut down on cheating and the idea that, hey, listen, they might have been on ice or they might be dead, which we're not going to be able to count any of those. All right. Bump bore wise, if you guys need to take a screenshot of this bad boy, this is kind of how you're going to put the fish on the board. Left eye facing towards the camera, the lips touching the end of the board. Make sure you have about an inch at the back end of the fish there so you can take a picture about an inch after. That way you can take the picture, have some space so I can look at it with my magnifying glass, and then you can submit it. If you're a Patreon member, you already know what the QR, the password is going to be that you're going to write on here. I'm going to be sending it out again, probably tomorrow, so you guys can have that. But you can just write it on a special sheet. You can write it on your hand. It could be on your phone. Like, I don't care. It could be anywhere. So anywhere you want that thing, as long as I can see it, it's perfectly fine. I believe it's going to be ho, ho, ho. We're going with the Die Hard theme this year. So it's probably going to be ho, ho, ho. I think it is ho, ho, ho. Anyway. And then somebody asked me, like, what if I just do too many hoes? Because it's so weird. Because it's like on Tourney X, I think it can only let you do ho, ho. And it's 3. And I'm like, dude, yeah, okay. If we're going to go into becoming a cinephile with movies, yes, you could do 3 hoes or 2 hoes. That's fine. Anyway, a lot of that word that I didn't think I'd be saying. All right. When it comes to the lips of the fish on the board, if it is super duper creaked and I can barely see that the mouth is open and that fish is clearly just going to be 12 inches, no matter whether I shut the mouth or not, I'm probably going to let it go. If this mouth is absolutely gaping wide, I'm going to have to discount it. And what does that mean? If the fish was going to be 12 and a half inches, it's going to then be 12 point, 12.2 or 12.25. Sorry, 12.25. Trying to do math late on a Monday. It's working out great. So that's how all of that works. All right. If you guys have any questions, please message me on Facebook, on Instagram, or you guys that have my phone number, you can text it. I'm not going to blare it out here to the whole world because I will have to get a new phone at that point. But if you guys have my number, you can text me. If you don't have my number, email me, fishingtv@gmail.com. Facebook, Instagram is the whole shebang there as well. Go check that out. I think that is everything. I think it's going to be a fun tournament. Please, 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 please. I encourage, this is one of the few tournaments that I do this with. If competitors want to fish together for safety, I encourage it. I have some people that are a little bit older. I'm not going to force you to go out by yourself when it's really cold out. That would be bad. Please, 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 please fish with a buddy, whether they're in the tournament or not. That's perfectly fine. If anything bad happens, I'll take that hit as my responsibility, but I want you guys to be safe out in the water. Please let people know where you are, whether your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, furry, whatever it is. Let them know that, hey, I'm going to be going out on the Shenandoah at 9 a.m. and this is my drop-off spot, just to be safe. If you are doing a kayak float, I hope somebody knows where you are, but wear the PDF and probably wear a survival suit's not a bad idea. Jet boat, all that shebang. So again, I just want safety is more important than anything else for me. So if you end up having to fish with a bunch of friends, it's no big deal at all. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. I think that's about everything. Oh, we got B-Cal in the chat here. B-Cal says BR 549, right? What? Yeah, exactly. Bruce. I have no idea what that means, but I'm going to say yes. Exactly. Yes. And then wear a PDF. Please wear a life jacket. If you want to wear a inflatable, that's perfectly fine. Wear whatever you guys want. That's fine. Just make sure it is lifeguard approved, certified, that whole shebang. Lifeguard. My goodness, what a day it's been. And then, yeah, so that's basically it for the tournament. If you guys don't know, head on over to Patreon right now. You can sign up for the tournament. All of the stuff is there. And then we'll be making an announcement next Monday with kind of just an update to the leaderboard. Again, you got a week. If you are away with friends and family this week, you're like, I can't fish this weekend. No worries. I get it. There's a major holiday. Registration will be open for a little bit longer past Black Friday, but it should be an absolute fun event. And I'm also working out some bonus prizes that we can have for people that submit fish the first of the year. So if you get to catch your first bass, first whatever crappie, January 1st through 3rd. I'm trying to work out some bonus prizes. Let me reach out to Jake's Bait and Tackle too. I haven't had a chance to talk to them about this yet, so I'm just spitballing with you guys because we're friends. You know, just keep it secret. I'm going to reach out to them about little bait knickknacks to be like, I caught a fish the first of the year. So there's that. A couple of other little housekeeping things in here before we kind of shut her down for the old nighty night. I will be at the Richmond and Raleigh Fishing Show and Expo. So the Raleigh Fishing Show is January 9th through 11th. We'll have a booth. We're going to be doing some interesting things there. And then January 16th through the 18th is the Richmond show. Things are going to be a little bit different. You guys know me at this point. We have more content than there are chapters in the Bible. And it's just, we just got to call a spade like a spade. People know who we are. It's not going to be as much about content this year as much as it is about meet and greets. So we are going to be scheduling some meet and greets. I'm going to say spitballing right now. It's probably going to be Friday afternoon and then Saturday around lunchtime. I'm spitballing for both events. We're going to have about 2 hours each time. So 2 hours on a Friday, 2 hours on a Saturday for a meet and greet. And that's at Raleigh and Richmond. So we will be getting content, but I'm also just going to be there just to talk shop. A lot of you guys, last year I felt terrible for where you'd come by and say hi, but we were busy trying to pump out content. I'm trying to be more balanced to that at this point because we are at that's just our maturity level now that as a company, we're at that maturity level where I need to be there just for the meet and greets. I'm going to be trying to get High Pole, SB, McCluskey, a lot of big names, a lot of people that you see on the show a couple of times be around for the meet and greets just so we can just chill. We are also hopefully, knock on wood, we're going to have a cooler with free drinks to all Patreon supporters. Just get a bottle of water. We're going to have some chairs and tables just to sit and just talk shop and just talk fishing and have a good time. It's just something I've always wanted to do with this thing. So that'll be the beta test of it. Also, we're going to be giving out a lot of the plaques because the tournament's ending on the 3rd. And then we have the Richmond Expo, like literally the next couple of weekends. I will be taking all of the plaques with me to Richmond and Raleigh. So if you are in the North Carolina area fishing, like you're fishing Bugs Island, Gas, and all that stuff, yeah, come see me. I can get you your stuff. Richmond Expo, same thing. We get some pictures taken and all of that jazz as well. So with that, we got some other fun little housekeeping things right here. Then go over to old Patreon. You can sign up for the event. It's going to be a good time. We'll see who can actually beat SB Fishing and Ethan Stone. I'll be fun to see how all of them compete and how that all shapes out. So with that said, 2 things I wanted to kind of touch on here. And then also, just to let everybody know, I will be going live later this week just to do a, it's kind of like a Thanksgiving kind of live stream. I usually do that now. I think I'm going to either do Wednesday or Thursday, Thanksgiving. I'll be doing a little live stream just to talk shop. But yeah, Bassmaster going to a 28-day off limit. Wow, boy, has that been... I wonder if that's overshadowing the kayak drama. What's going on with Bass and the lie detector and the old polygraphs? I mean, I think it's hard for me to believe that every single one of those people is guilty. It's just the severity of what your thought process on the no information rule is, you know, and I get it. Like, is it cheating? I think it's more of a rule breaking than it is cheating because, again, I have a view of what cheating is. So example is what Jacob Hausman did using a fish trap. That to me is like, you know, 1st degree murder type of cheating. And then it kind of does. It's like, it's a he said, she said with all this stuff. Did they get information or are they just talking to their friends and said, hey, the fish were biting? That's a he said, she said type of deal. So it's hard. There's intent. Was the intent there? And that's the hardest thing with some of these phone call things is you have to show intent. Was there intent to get information or was it an accident? I'm very libertarian when it comes to this kind of stuff. When it comes to off limits, I think the rules are made so people that are in power, people that do have good connections, they're going to get away with murder constantly. It's going to be the newbies that suffer from these rules. With those biases aside, which are my personal opinions, 100%. The problem with these rules is for every 3 people they catch that did break the rules, with the polygraph system they have in place now, you're going to have people that you wrongfully execute. And so that's where, as an organization, I think you need to kind of balance out the politics and the rules. Is if you catch 2 people that did legitimately cheat and you DQ'd them, But then you also have 2 or 3 people that you DQ that did not actually commit a crime. That's going to look like shit on your organization. Is that the case here? No, I'm doing a hypothetical thought exercise. And that's just kind of really, I grit my teeth with some of these rules. It's the same thing with the forward facing sonar rules in 2026 is for every person that did commit a quote unquote crime, how many did you wrongfully execute? And will that political backlash be a lot? That's going to be frustrating. I don't know. It just feels like the thought police with some of these instances. Some of them I 100% get that I think there was some shady stuff that actually happened. But I think this is a rule that can, if somebody really wants to get you in trouble, it's so easy for them to get you in trouble with this rule. It's so easy. So anyway, I don't know. We'll see what happens. And then I think it was Wheeler King or somebody else. Maybe it was Randy Blockett that had this interesting video, which was, what is the biggest threat in bass fishing right now? Is it the cheating scandals? Is it this or that? And to me, that's a no-brainer. It's just the economy, stupid. Like there's no money in bass fishing anymore. The sponsors have completely dried up, and with inflation and the market the way it is right now, fishing all of those bass opens, unless you marry a Saudi princess or something, it's going to be tough. It's just going to be really, really tough to be able to fork out that kind of money. And hopefully, if you do make it, sponsors show up. It almost feels like if you want to make it as a bass professional now, you need to either come from money or have everything set up, which means you need to get people that want to bet on you now. I don't know. I don't know if that is a good fundamental for success. And because of that, because you're going to have less money involved, I think it's going to go younger. Because if you are in your mid 30s, 40s, you have a wife, you have kids, you have responsibilities, you have other things that you have to take care of. You need better paychecks. If the average pay for a Bassmaster is, let's say, $30,000 a year, 35, 40, that's minimum wage, poverty level. That's one thing if you're right out of college. It's another when you have a wife and kids and you're at that point in your life. And that's the problem. And so I think the people that are going to go, which is usually what happens, is going to be the top and the heavy ones. The ones that have a lot of money tied up in them, the ones that are a little bit older that are going to want more. Those are the contracts I can see that get cut. And then you're going to put that money into cheaper talent. And that's just kind of see from the corporate side of things how that's going to flesh out. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope this is all BS and I'm completely wrong. But that just kind of feels like where it's going right now. Let's see. We got Jay Hunter on Instagram says Coast Guard. Yes, 100% with the old Coast Guard thing, dude. Sorry about that. I don't know why I said lifeguard. That was an aneurysm I just had in my head. So whoopsie there. And then episode wise, I have a fun little just kind of bonus episode that's going to be dropping on Wednesday, I think it is. It's just a little bonus episode. Vic's swim bait episode. If you didn't catch it, I was going to drop this week, but this is kind of a weird dead week with Thanksgiving. So it's going to drop next Monday. It's going to be the first episode really of December will be that one. So you can go check that one out. And then I'll also be uploading a special episode. I think I'm going to re-upload the very first episode or the second episode we ever did on the channel back 4 years ago, because our 4-year anniversary of Fishing the DMV is coming up. I believe it's December 1st is when I dropped the very first episode of the show over 4 years ago. So I think that's what we're going to be dropping. So let's see here. We got a bunch of fun questions on the old Instagram here. Let's see. Key picnics. Let's see. Oh, here's a very good one from Kitchen Warrior. No, that one's not gone there. All right. Thomas, what are your thoughts on the kayaking fiasco? I feel like the kayak thing is just old news at this point. It is what it is. Everyone has an opinion on it. It sucks. I'm glad it's over and we can move on. I'm just done with it. I'm done with the stress of it all. I just don't. I don't like the farm just clicks habitually. I like to move on. I got other things I want to talk about. I don't want to become like our Randy Blockett style channel where all we're going to talk about is just the kayaking thing for 5 weeks in a row. So I'm perfectly glad to move on with it, honestly. I got another one here on the old Instagram, Thomas. I'm trying to get into the YouTube game. Love what you do. What is your number one advice for someone that wants to start a podcast? You got to be consistent. Definitely got to be consistent every single week. Try to do 52 episodes in a year, 1 a week for a year to get the consistency down. And you just got to be talking about stuff that you like to talk about. I like to talk to people, like people's stories. So it's easy for me to talk to people about fishing and getting people's stories and asking questions. And it's not about me, it's about the guest. So don't make the show about you necessarily, make it about the people that you have on the show. And that'll help out a lot. Upper Potomac. Yep. We're gonna get an Upper Potomac episode here going as well. Definitely gonna try to get something like that too. We do need a new Upper Potomac answer. Missed the okay. We got J Hunter 846. Missed the answer. Is striper included or just hybrid? Well, let me go right back to that, my good sir. If you guys missed it, all right, here we go. So what we got is for the side pot challenges. It's a shit ton. We have the 2 largest pickerel, the 2 largest yellow perch, the 2 largest white perch, the 2 largest crappie, the 2 largest walleye, the 2 largest rainbow trout, and they can be stocked or native. That's perfectly fine. The 2 largest hybrid striper, the 2 largest striper, and the 2 largest rock bass. Okay. So we got a lot of different ones that you have there. So hopefully that answers your question. We're going all out with the different side pot challenges that you can be going to fish for. And this one, again, go over to Patreon, sign up right now, because all the tournaments next year, everything that we're going to be doing next year, it's going to be rising up to $8 for new members. So you get to lock in $6 indefinitely as long as you hold the membership, which will be good because we have a lot of things planned for 2026. Hopefully they all pan out there. I don't think I've missed too much in the fishing world. This past week's felt like a blur with everything. And luckily it feels like everything's starting to slow down. Thank God for the holiday season. Because January comes real quick, and not only is it expo season, it's the start of the fishing season, which I kind of like Bassmaster's kayak schedule. I kind of dig it. I like that they're going to some different places. Hey, they're willing to go to California, so I got a tip of the cap there. What does that tell you about the logistics of boats, taking boats out that way? Because if you're willing to take kayaks and not boats, to me, I have to think it's the logistics of it all, which has to be the reason too. So who knows? Let's see. We got Jay Hunter says, sweet. Which board is good use for a striper? Oh, good job. So all kayak, I want you guys to get all kayak bump boards. All kayak bump boards is a lot easier for me to tell a tournament of inches. The old school bass fishing boards really just do like inch and half and then the next inch. Way harder to gauge and give you those extra inches there. So I would say going with a Kitech board is really good. Hog trough. The biggest thing is it has to have a bump. Let me pull this screen back up for you. All right, there we go. So biggest, let me pull this out of the way there. Perfect. So the biggest thing is with the board, it has to have this lip or fence on it. And it's got to be able to do every quarter of an inch all the way out. The Kitech board is super cheap right now. I believe it's like $40 on Amazon, and this gets you into almost any tournament you want. I would go if you're gonna try to do striper, snakehead, and muskie, any of those. I highly suggest you get a board that's over 40 inches. Lee, if you're there in the comments, let me know. Aaron, whoever, I think about 40 plus inches, 50 inches is going to be the thing. Depending on the size of your striper, I think 40 might be at the end of it. I think if you're catching a 50 plus inch striper, you shouldn't be entering it in my tournament. You should be entering it to somebody else's tournament. Kitech board, yeah. If you catch a 50-inch striper, what board? Dude, if you catch a 50-inch striper, I mean, technically, if it's hanging off the end of a 40-inch board, we could just round it to 50, I guess, and call it a day because you're winning some kind of cash prize. I personally know just enough about striper fishing to be dangerous, but I don't think 50-inch striper are super on the regular. And I think it's more of like a Smith. I think Smith Mountain Lake is better for size, if I'm not mistaken. Smith is the lake for size. Bugs is good for quantity, if I'm not mistaken. So if that's true, you can go check that out there as well. But yeah, 50-inch board, and honestly, let's just, you know what's great about having 58 screens right here in my home office is we can figure out what size boards together. Let's see. And let's delete this bad boy right here and share the old screen. Let's go to the entire screen. Perfect. Perfect. All right, there you go. I'm just on Amazon right now, dude, just to be giving me these Black Friday deals. Oh, let's see, 26-inch. So if you just want the 26-inch, it's $44, which is perfectly fine for 99.9% of what y'all are going to be doing. Where is that bigger one? Right here, this one right here. This one looks like it's 30 inches long or 40 inches long. And let's go to all Kitech boards. I want to make sure that I'm not BSing you about Kitech having the extended one. I thought they did. What the hell is this? Get out of here. There we go. There's an extendable one. Boom, right there. That's not bad at all. Okay, cool. So Kitech does make a 48. And then what I'll do is I will call Lee Wells tomorrow because I know he has a special snakehead one. I don't know if it's custom or not. Don't hold me to that, but I don't actually hold me to that. I'm pretty sure it's custom. I think him and Mr. Reese has a specialty one. So let me go check with them just to quadruple check that as well. So yeah. But yeah, it has been I think that's correct. So I'm gonna double check that for you, dude. But yeah, get the biggest one you can because yeah, if it's over 40 inches, we'll probably round it to 50. Like if it's off the end of the board by a good amount, we could probably tell that. So, but that's a fun bridge to cross. If you catch one that's 50 plus inches, we'll figure it out for you. I've had people use rulers duct tape together. Oh, here you go. Here we go. B Cow says Raptor Lures has a 60-inch board. Raptor Lures has a 60-inch board. Well, let us use the power of the internet to Raptor Lures. All right. 60-inch board. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Stop telling me. All right. Holy Lord. Oh, look at that. $34 for a board that's probably as long as most people's kayak. Like, how the hell, if you catch a fish that needs a board the size of the damn kayak you're in, like, how the hell does that work? Like, I have a cool guest that I'm trying to line up for 2026. It's a catfish kayak. He is down in the Everglades right now catching sharks out of a kayak. And I'm just like, he has these bull sharks that look like it just, I don't know how you do it. Like when you start wrangling something that big. So, but there you go. So yeah, Raptor Lures has a 60-inch board right there. That's RAPTOR Lures. They have a bump board that's 60 inches. That is pretty cool. I did not know that at all. That's interesting stuff there. So anyway, guys, that is all I have on my plate. So we have this episode will be re-uploaded tomorrow, and then Wednesday we will have just a specialty episode. Then we'll have a throwback episode to our 4-year anniversary, and then on Monday we have a drop with Victor or Vic. Why Victor? Vic for the swim bait episode, and then we have a couple other things. I am going to be posting on Facebook tomorrow. I'm going to be doing some kind of tackle talk episodes as we get closer to the holidays and people do their whole buyer's guide. But instead of just doing, videos on buyer's guide, we're going to have podcast episodes. And I want to talk about minnow fishing. So I'm going to put it out on social media tomorrow. I want to see who wants to talk about minnow fishing. And if you want to come on the show and talk about minnow fishing, the tips on how to be better, what gear people should buy, I'm going to be making a big post about that tomorrow. So you can message me on Instagram, Facebook, or fishingdmv@gmail.com if you're interested in coming on the show. And we're going to just talk about minnow fishing, hopefully next Monday night. So, but yeah, with that said, guys, please head on over to Patreon. Check the link in the episode description. It has Patreon feed as well. And then also I just dropped in chat a little bit earlier, a link to Patreon. Go to Patreon. You can sign up for the tournament. The Merry Bassmas Bash starts this Friday, this Black Friday at 7 a.m. and goes all the way to January 3rd. Will you be able to beat SB Fishing on the Largemouth Division side? Will you be able to beat Ethan Stone on the Smallmouth side? We're giving away 2 guided fishing trips with 2 of the best people, over $200 in cash prizes, probably giving away close to $3,000 all in all. It's absolutely going to be a great event. Come on out, check it out. Join us on Patreon. Live Minnow. Yeah, that's what we'll call it. We'll call it the Live Minnow Show next week. Check us out. Leave me a message, and we will see you guys next time on Fishing the DMV. Bye. You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your host, Thomas Ahrens. Fishing in DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester.